The twin flame journey is one of the most profound and transformative experiences one can ever have. It's an intense connection that defies logic and reason, pulling two souls toward each other in ways that cannot be fully understood by the mind alone. But as many who walk this path know, it's not always a smooth or linear journey. The twin flame connection often involves separation, where one person, often called the runner, pulls away, leaving the other in a state of confusion, longing, and deep emotional turmoil. During this period of no contact, the chaser wonders whether the runner still thinks about them, if they regret leaving, or if they have completely moved on. One of the most common questions that arise during this phase is, does my twin flame runner secretly spy on me? The answer is not as simple as a yes or no. While every twin flame journey is unique, there are strong indications that many runners do, in fact, keep tabs on their counterpart, even when they appear distant or detached. They may not reach out, but their soul remains deeply intertwined with yours, compelling them to check in on you in subtle ways. First of all, a twin flame connection is not just an ordinary romantic relationship. It is a deep, spiritual bond that transcends time and space. Even when the runner distances themselves physically, the energetic cord between you both remains intact. This is why, despite the separation, you still feel their presence. Runners often struggle with this connection. They may try to suppress their emotions and convince themselves that walking away was the right decision, but deep down, they still feel drawn to their twin flame. This pull manifests in many ways, including a secret desire to check in and see what you're doing, even if they refuse to communicate directly. They may find themselves scrolling through your social media profiles, looking at old pictures, or even rereading past conversations. Sometimes, they might not even be aware of why they are doing it. It's almost instinctual. The connection compels them to stay linked to you in whatever way they can, even if it's just from a distance. No matter how much time passes or how far apart you are, the energy between you remains active. The runner may go through phases where they completely shut you out, but at other times, they can't resist checking in, even if they never admit it. The twin flame journey is as much about personal growth as it is about union. For many runners, the emotional intensity of the connection becomes overwhelming. It forces them to confront feelings they may not be ready to process. Instead of facing these emotions head-on, they retreat, believing that distance will help them regain a sense of control. However, despite their need for space, their curiosity about you never truly fades. Deep inside, they still want to know how you're doing. They wonder if you miss them, if you are upset, or if you have moved on completely. But fear holds them back from direct contact. This fear often takes different forms: fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, and even fear of the unknown. Many runners feel guilty for leaving and worry that if they reach out, they might reopen wounds or be met with anger. Others feel unworthy of the connection, believing they don't deserve the love and understanding you offer. Ego also plays a significant role in keeping them at a distance. The runner may convince themselves that staying away is the best option, even if their heart longs to reconnect. Their mind creates excuses, telling them that reaching out might make them seem weak, that you might reject them, or that they are better off alone. Instead of facing these fears directly, they take an easier route, watching from afar. This is why many runners secretly check in on their twin flame. They may scroll through your social media, looking for updates about your life. Some might go as far as creating fake accounts to avoid being seen. Others may ask mutual friends about you or casually bring you up in conversations without making it obvious. This behavior allows them to stay connected in a way that feels safe without the risk of emotional exposure. It's important for the chaser to understand that silence does not mean indifference. Many assume that if the runner is not reaching out, it means they don't care. But in reality, they are often struggling with their emotions in private. They watch from a distance because they are not yet ready to face the depth of their feelings. Their heart still longs for connection, but their fear keeps them from taking action. The best thing you can do during this time is to continue focusing on yourself. The more you grow, heal, and embrace your own journey, the more it encourages them to do the same. They need to come to their own realizations in their own time. Trust that when they are ready, they will find the courage to step forward. If you've ever had a feeling that your twin flame is keeping tabs on you, you're probably right. This connection is deeply intuitive, and many chasers can sense when their runner is energetically present. One of the most common signs that your twin flame runner is keeping tabs on you is a sudden energetic shift. Out of nowhere, you might feel an overwhelming wave of emotions that do not seem to be your own. You could wake up from a vivid dream about them, or their name may randomly pop into your thoughts when you least expect it. These feelings are not just nostalgia or wishful thinking. They are often a reflection of the energetic pull between you and your twin flame. Even if they are not consciously reaching out, their focus on you creates a ripple effect that you can sense on a deeper level. Social media can also be a subtle indicator that they are watching. You may notice strange patterns. Perhaps they like an old post of yours before quickly unliking it, or their profile appears in your suggested friends list despite having no mutual activity for a long time. Sometimes, they might watch your stories without interacting, or their presence might seem to linger just on the edges of your online space. These actions are small but telling. They reveal an internal conflict where part of them longs to stay connected while another part hesitates to fully engage. Another strong sign is an increase in synchronicities. You may start seeing their name in unexpected places, hearing songs that remind you of them, or repeatedly encountering angel numbers like 1111. These occurrences are not coincidences. They are signs from the universe that your energies are still entwined. The more you notice these patterns, the more likely it is that your runner is actively thinking about you, even if they are not expressing it directly. Sometimes, the connection works both ways. If you suddenly feel a strong urge to check their profile or reach out, it might not be your own thought alone. Often, this pull is a result of their energy reaching for yours. When a twin flame runner secretly watches you, they unknowingly create an energetic bridge that draws you toward them as well. All of these signs serve as reminders that separation is never truly the end. Even when they are silent, they are still connected to you in ways they might not fully understand themselves. Their curiosity, their emotions, and their unspoken longing all keep them tethered to you, just as you remain tied to them. One of the biggest reasons twin flame runners spy is because they are afraid of losing the connection entirely. Even if they are not ready for union, they still feel deeply tied to you. The idea that you might move on without them can stir up emotions they are not prepared to handle. Runners often go through a cycle of push and pull. When they first leave, they may convince themselves that the separation is necessary. They believe that distance will help them escape the intensity of the connection. But as time passes, they start to feel the emptiness left behind. Even if they try to distract themselves with work, friends, or other relationships, they find that nothing truly fills the space that you once occupied. They spy because they need reassurance. They want to see if you are still waiting for them, if you still care, or if you have completely moved on. Many runners fear that if they check back in one day, you will no longer be there. They struggle with the idea that someone else could take their place in your life. For some, seeing you happy without them triggers deep emotions. It forces them to confront their fears of abandonment, rejection, and regret. They may wonder if they made the right choice in walking away. This realization can be difficult for them, especially if they are still avoiding their own healing. At the same time, runners may feel conflicted. They might want you to be happy, but the idea of you finding happiness with someone else stirs up jealousy and confusion. It's not that they want to control your life, it's that the thought of someone else experiencing the depth of connection they once shared with you makes them feel uneasy. This is why many runners disappear, but still watch from a distance. They are not ready to return, but they also don't want to fully let go. They check in to see if the door is still open, even if they are not yet prepared to walk through it. If you suspect that your twin flame is spying on you for this reason, the best thing you can do is continue living your life authentically. Do not wait in limbo, hoping for them to return. Instead, focus on your own journey, knowing that if they are meant to come back, they will. Your growth and self-love will naturally draw them back when the time is right. Their journey is theirs to navigate, just as yours is yours. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and when they are ready, they will find their way back to you. The twin flame journey is deeply transformative, pushing both counterparts towards self-discovery and spiritual growth. While the chaser may be more conscious of this journey from the beginning, the runner often resists it. The emotional intensity of the connection can feel overwhelming, leading them to escape rather than face their inner struggles. However, this resistance does not mean they are unaffected. In fact, their decision to spy on you is often a sign that their awakening has already begun. At first, many runners deny the connection entirely. They convince themselves that what they felt was temporary or exaggerated. They bury their emotions in distractions, work, relationships, hobbies, anything to avoid thinking about their twin flame. But over time, no matter how much they suppress their feelings, the connection continues to call them back. They start experiencing moments of deep nostalgia, unexplained emotions, or dreams about their twin flame. These subtle but powerful reminders trigger their curiosity, leading them to check in from a distance. This stage of spying is significant because it marks the beginning of their acceptance. While they may not be ready to return, they are no longer able to fully deny the bond. They start seeking answers, trying to understand why they still feel drawn to you despite the separation. Some may even research twin flames, read about spiritual connections, or find themselves encountering synchronicities that remind them of the journey. As their awakening deepens, they begin to realize that running has not freed them from the connection, it has only delayed their healing. The more they spy, the more they recognize that their twin flame is not just a fleeting romance, but a crucial part of their soul's evolution. This realization brings them face to face with their fears, insecurities, and wounds. Eventually, they are forced to confront these emotions, leading to the next stages of their transformation. Each runner progresses through these stages at their own pace. Some may take months, while others take years. But the more they awaken, the more they are drawn back toward their twin flame, not just because of love, but because they start to understand that this connection is meant to help them grow into their highest self. Discovering that your twin flame runner is keeping tabs on you can bring up a mix of emotions. On one hand, it can be reassuring to know they still care. On the other, it can be frustrating if they are watching but refusing to communicate. It's natural to wonder what they are thinking and why they don't just reach out directly. However, the way you respond to the situation is crucial to your own growth and the overall journey. The first and most important thing to remember is that trying to force a reaction from them will only push them further away. Many chasers, upon sensing their runner's presence, feel tempted to post things online to get their attention, or find ways to subtly let them know they are aware of their spying. But these actions are often rooted in the desire for external validation rather than true healing. Instead of trying to draw them out, focus on yourself. Your growth and energy naturally affect your twin flame. The more you step into your own power, the more you inspire them to do the same. They are watching not just because they miss you, but because they sense the strength you are embodying. The best thing you can do is continue living authentically, pursuing your passions, nurturing your well-being, and deepening your own spiritual path. If you strongly feel their presence, acknowledge it on an energetic level, but don't let it consume your thoughts. You may experience moments where you feel them intensely, as if they are reaching out energetically. In these moments, send them love and light, but then release the need to dwell on it. Trust that they are undergoing their own journey, even if you cannot see their progress. Separation is not a punishment. It is a period of individual growth. If you focus too much on whether they are watching, you risk getting stuck in an emotional loop that prevents you from fully embracing your own path. Instead, trust in divine timing. Know that when the moment is right, they will take the necessary steps to reconnect in a meaningful way. Until then, continue living with purpose, knowing that your twin flame is never truly disconnected from you. The twin flame connection is much more than just a romantic relationship. It is a catalyst for deep transformation. While love is a part of the journey, The ultimate purpose of this bond is to help both individuals evolve into their highest selves. Union is not just about being together in the physical sense. It is about reaching a level of inner wholeness where both counterparts are aligned in mind, body, and spirit. Runners spy on their twin flames because, whether they realize it or not, they are searching for answers. They are trying to understand who they are in relation to this connection. They are drawn to your energy because you are a mirror for their own soul, reflecting both their strengths and their wounds. Every time they check in on you, they are subconsciously trying to process what this bond means for their own growth. This is why the focus should always be on self-discovery rather than chasing reunion. Many chasers feel tempted to wait, hoping that their runner will eventually come back. But waiting in a state of stagnation does not serve either of you. Instead, your role is to continue evolving. The more you step into your own light, the more you help your twin flame do the same. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even in moments of separation, you are still deeply connected on a soul level. The lessons you learn now are shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Your runner is going through their own transformation, and when the time is right, they will find their way back. Not because you chased them, but because your growth naturally drew them home. No matter how far apart you may seem, the twin flame bond is eternal. Keep focusing on your path, knowing that in the end, everything is leading you toward the union that was always meant to be.